So, alternative fuels. What are they and what can they do for the environment? The two main alternative fuels that are used nowadays are biodiesel and hydrogen. So, biodiesel, which is a replacement for diesel, which is the crude oil, it is produced from a process called esterification. So, esterification takes a industrial alcohol, which is methanol or ethanol, and it mixes it with a catalyst, which allows a chemical reaction to occur. So it converts the mixture into a fatty acid methyl ester fuel known as biodiesel. So that all means something, but why biodiesel? Not only does it help reduce U.S. dependence on foreign oil, but it also reduces greenhouse gases by up to 50% in certain vehicles, states the EPA, which is the Environmental Protection Agency. So, how can you use it? What can you use it in? It is made up of two main compounds, which are B5, which is 5% biodiesel, and 95% diesel. The second is B20, which is 20% biodiesel, 80% diesel. Both can be used in certain diesel engines with no engine modifications. So you can take an engine that normally runs on diesel and fill your gas tank with biodiesel, and you will be able to run, drive to work, go do whatever in that vehicle, and it will run just like it did with regular diesel. So, the SmartWay Transport Partnership said because of that, trucking companies widely made the switch to the B20 mixture in the early 2000s because of the environmental standards that were put in place by the EPA, and they wanted to do their part in helping reduce the greenhouse gas emissions from their trucks. Not only that, but the U.S. Senate also decided in 2004 that all vehicles used by the United States Army and all the other branches of the military will switch to the B20 mixture that was safer for the environment. So, what are the downfalls of using biodiesel? There are very little downfalls. The only downfall is when you take a vehicle that normally runs on diesel and you put biodiesel in, or a biodiesel mixture, B20 or B5, into the gas tank, it leaves a film on all the internals of the engine parts. So when the fuel rushes through the engine and goes in the combustion chamber and everything, and it comes out to the fuel filter, that is when that film gets brought up into the fuel filter and causes it to clog. So using biodiesel, make sure that you change your fuel filter. It also wears down on the rubber components, so the hoses, the fuel lines, and the other sorts that are in the engine, also gasket rings, which are made up of rubber. You will need to replace those more often than you would with regular diesel. So that was the first one, which was biodiesel. The second alternative fuel is hydrogen. So according to Michael Hordesky's book, The Future of Hydrogen, hydrogen is not as cost effective as natural gas. Actually, it is 3 times as expensive as using natural gas. So how do you get hydrogen? You send an electrical current that separates water molecules into their components, which is oxygen and hydrogen. So there are very little uses for hydrogen, especially nowadays. So it was used widely by NASA in the Space Shuttle program and all of the other satellite launches. It was also used by the U.S. Army and many other branches that use any sort of rocket-propelled grenades or anything of the sorts. It uses a hydrogen mix. And most recently with the SpaceX program, which was the newest shuttle launch that happened within the past few months. So it is environmentally safer than fossil fuels, as well as more effective in propelling whatever object it is filled in. So hopefully you've learned something about alternative fuels, what they are, what they consist of, and how we can use them, and how they can positively impact the environment.